Thank you, Shamil. I wish I could be with all of you in person, but these days it doesn't seem like I'm anywhere in person for very long. I'm really deeply grateful, very honored to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award in Peacebuilding. I have to tell you, at this stage, I'm not even bothered by the word lifetime. After all, it's a lot better than to receive the John Kerry Memorial Peacebuilding Award, however that might be delivered. So thank you. I accept this award proudly on behalf of the many in the Obama administration, the State Department, and the Senate with whom I have worked and whose support I have counted on year after year. I think that diplomacy has no higher calling than the pursuit of peace. But what do we really mean by that term? To some, peace is merely the absence of war, the kind of sterile order that can be achieved temporarily through repression and fear. To others, it's the type of peace that Tacitus in his writing attributed to the ruthlessness of Roman legions. Where they make a desert, they call it peace. We can even hear an echo of such a philosophy today in the actions of President Assad. But make no mistake, real peace is a presence of something, not an absence. It's the presence of economic opportunity, of education and health, of human rights, the rule of law, and a chance for people to grow up and grow old without fear. But building that kind of peace is not something that can be achieved and then just taken for granted. It requires constant effort and a sustained and deeply felt commitment. Since its founding in 1982, the search for common ground has demonstrated exactly those qualities. Your work in Burundi helped to prevent genocide in the early 1990s. Near the end of that decade, you organized the first American visit to Iran since the 1979 revolution. And during the Iran talks, the fresh ideas that you provided helped us to achieve a breakthrough on the Iraq heavy water reactor. And just last year, you produced one of the most popular TV shows ever aired in the West Bank, promoting accountable governance and civic engagement. So as you know, I am now well into my fourth and final year as Secretary of State. And everything that I have seen has reinforced my belief in the importance of diplomacy. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action has dramatically reduced the security threat posed by Iran's nuclear program. In Colombia, we are supporting President Santos in his efforts to end a decades-long civil war. In Libya, the new government of national accord has come together and is beginning to assert itself. And we're making progress towards a lasting ceasefire in Yemen and hopefully getting back to the negotiating table and making progress towards a real peace. We've opened the door to normal relations with Cuba, and we're working against high odds to find the path to peace in Syria, one of the most complex and horrific challenges that the world has faced in a generation. Nearly half a century ago, I fought in a war that diplomats at the time could have prevented, but did not. As the skipper of a swift boat in Vietnam, I saw animosity in the eyes of even people who were supposed to be our allies. And last May in Ho Chi Minh City, I saw streets that were filled with Vietnamese people cheering the President of the United States. And I saw friendship in the eyes even of people who had once been our bitter foes. Wars are not inevitable, and peace, even when it takes years and many interim steps to bring about, is never, ever more trouble than it's worth. We are defined by what we accomplish, but we're also defined, I believe, by what we attempt. And those who suggest that peace is impossible should remember the words of another Search for Common Ground awardee, Muhammad Ali. Impossible is not a fact, he said, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. I really believe that. Let this then be our message to the next generation. Never cease in your daring, your optimism, your faith in a brighter future, or especially your pursuit of justice and peace. So thank you once again for this great honor, which I accept on behalf of my colleagues, and good evening to all of you.